You think everyone's a homosexual.
Most people are.
I'm exactly the kind of person that needs to know I'm making everybody around me happy.
You're not going to get that assurance from me because I hate you.
I want to go in there and see what's happening. Do you think it's gory?
No, it just looks like me after we've eaten like a big Mexican dinner.
Be the walker, not the dog.
You are very strange, but you're very wise.
Welcome to What the Flick, everybody. It's Ben and Alonso here. Episodes 9 and 10 with a focus on 10 because
it's fresher.
It's fresher. Girls just ended last night. Conclusion of season 4, Home Birth. Episode 9 was called Daddy Issues. For as clever as that show is, they don't even try on the episode names, which I super respect, by the way.
Enough with the coin.
Enough with that. Exactly. Just tell us what the episode's about. It helps us remember. So, a very significant finale, I think.
Yeah, no question.
Enormously significant. I read a really interesting piece in Slate about how that Lena Dunham finally had Hannah really legitimately grow up and change directions. But that same piece was a little critical of the other girls, even though they reached a conclusion in their lives.
Sure.
They said it's sort of the same kind of conclusion they've reached before. But I
don't know if that's fair.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Hannah reached a significant turning point.
Sure.
But I thought they all sort of went out on their own.
Yeah.
There was the neediness. They showed significant independence. Sure. I like this a lot.
Yeah, if anything, I was kind of surprised by the 6 months later epilogue, because the way that things were going, I thought I could almost imagine where they would just sort of end this episode and start season 5 with the 2 years later or something.
Right. Yeah.
Because Shosha's clearly going to Tokyo, and that would give Jessa time to do whatever training for.
I still think they might. I mean, I think they've set themselves right. This is 6 months later because I think she really wanted to show that this took.
Yeah.
That Hannah did something bold and
she
it worked.
Walked away from Adam and
she's
stayed
with
that way. Yeah.
Fran, I think is his name, the other teacher who's so normal and kind and nice.
That actor is so great. He was.
Yes.
Did you see Obvious Child?
Not until you tell me what it was about.
The Jenny Slate abortion comedy.
Oh yeah.
He's the guy in that.
Right.
And so it's so hard to take sort of regular appealing guy and not make him dull. And this guy's so good at taking somebody who's just a regular dude and just makes him really charming and sweet. And you see why these sort of quirky women fall for him.
Jake Lacey,
yes. Yeah, he was on The Office, I believe.
He was on The Office, that's right, yeah.
So I like him a lot.
Yeah, he was good, and he's just so normal. And that wonderful line he delivered, I think in 9, maybe it was in 8.
No, in 8, the you don't understand.
Yeah, you don't know you. That was good and well done and well delivered, really well written. So obviously for Hannah to turn Adam down, right, and have the strength to really mean it and say no, and then in some period of time realize that, it's worth pursuing with this guy. We don't know. I just didn't seem like the way they held hands suggest it wasn't a terribly, they were both standing on their own. It was a constructive relationship.
Totally. Now, I'm curious what you think about Hannah's dad in terms of going through this period of Ted, I believe, or Tad, I forget his name. I'm so bad with the character names on the show. Kind of, is maybe almost on the verge of sowing his oats a little, and going around New York with Elijah and everything. And then at the finale, we see him back at the kitchen table. Yeah. And it's like, are they just have the parents sort of decided, well,
this is what we are.
This is what we are. This is what we know, and we're just it's too late to try and change that.
I think we wonder about it. I don't think he'd gotten an apartment. Mm-hmm. He hadn't figured it out. He's obviously going. He doesn't quite even know. It didn't seem like he's fully committed. The most committed he was going on a shopping spree.
Right.
So, and I'm sure committed is the wrong word. So I thought that was interesting, and the mom's supreme bitterness toward. Talking about him, and then
he's right
wonderful pan over, and there he is. So. Yeah, I don't know. That was very interesting. Maybe they're just back together. Yeah. We'll find out. But to your point about you thought they were in a position to go 2 years later, and I do think that Lena Dunham wanted to show that that was real. Her turning Adam down, that it was. But I still think we might get 12 months later when we start season 5.
And if not, all the more interesting a contrast of her not going back to Adam. If her parents sort of have settled into this thing that it's not really working for either of them, but it's easier than trying something else, sort of where stasis is preferable to whatever, then at least she isn't taking the safe route of going back to Adam again into a relationship that has its problems, but she's familiar with it and she's comfortable with it. Instead saying, nope, no, I'm going to move on.
And remember the phone conversation she had with her mom, where her mother said, I guess it was that same conversation that we're referring to. There was only one, where she said, essentially, I'm paraphrasing, I have nothing in front of me. You have everything in front of you.
Right.
So it was like mom was saying, I've given up. You haven't.
Sure.
And Hannah,
took that to heart.
applying some of that.
And don't say you've got nothing in front of you and you just got tenure.
But you just got tenure.
For Christ's sake.
And you've got another man lusting after you. And so, let your husband go do his, let him go. Like do the kind. I get her rage.
I don't even know that it's her fault. I'm sure a lot of that because his own entropy and his own, feeling like that he's coming out too late. And he's not ready to make these changes in his life, and better the devil you know.
But that said, if she were to say to him, well, first of all, she's got to do the right thing, which is you can't be married to you can't continue the life you had with a guy who's gay and now is letting you know this. You can help him with that, and you can stay incredibly close to him.
Exactly. Yeah.
But she should say, okay, I was enraged. Now I'm changing. There's some point the mature
Clarity
reaction
sets
is
in,
to like, what do you need me to do to help you now? Right. And then by the way, you're gonna have to help me too, because this is also devastating for me. But
okay, we're bearing the lead. Which is Ray telling off Desi.
Alex Karpovsky. Watching him.
So good.
There's just something thrilling about watching him scream at fellow motorists, put Shosh in her place, put Marnie in her place, and here, lower such a hammer on Desi that it worked.
Yeah.
He
runs away.
He moved to San Diego, or Seattle, I'm sure. He went back home to Seattle. He's gone. The night of a show.
Yeah.
And so, he is, first of all, he's a great actor. Great actor. And just, both the last two episodes, the one that ended with Ray and Hannah next to you, I'm so happy. I'm lying. I'm lying about everything.
I'm so happy for everyone.
Right, yeah.
Which also had that great line when Marnie gets up to tell her that they're getting married. He says, sorry to interrupt. She's not sorry.
She's not sorry to interrupt. 2 episodes now, he's just had great looks. Like that line there where, when Marty gets off stage, it's the scariest thing I've ever done, is Desi here? And he's like, I don't know. And he's like, I won. I can't believe I won. I was so far down. I came back and won.
That worked. Who knew?
So I just think he's great, and it's such a great character, an unexpected character in this show. He's actually almost became the most interesting male character. One thing the Slate piece brought up that I think is worth mentioning is that I hope, in a sense, we haven't seen the end of Mimi Rose. I get the feeling we are, but as an extra character on the show, she was really good.
Yeah, and Ace too. I thought they were.
Ace is great.
They're a certain kind of New Yorker, and I thought.
And maybe we can have them. Maybe they can play some role together.
I would hope so. Yeah, but again, that Slate piece, the idea that the other female characters haven't progressed. That's such a big leap for Marnie to go on that stage by herself and to shine by herself when she was so codependent with Desi that she it wasn't just singer-songwriter. Like, I got to pull him out of this relationship.
She's been codependent on Charlie, and then Desi, and then whoever,
and Ray,
Ray, right? Yeah. So here's a moment where she went on stage, and she's like, "Did Desi show up?" Not like, "I got to go find him." She's like having a drink. She's like, "Oh, well, is he coming? What?
Yeah,
I don't know."
Exactly.
But she recognized that she achieved, and then Shosh getting a job and going to Japan, even though a non-manipulative guy, a genuine guy, is essentially saying, I love you, and she likes this guy, and it's a relationship we like.
But here's the thing, though. When somebody that early in a relationship is where you not going to Tokyo is because of a guy that you haven't known all that long is giving you a job and asking you to move in, that's a lot of eggs for one basket.
No. She made the right decision, but that's tough to do because, but also, because he's not.
It's mature of her, definitely.
Right, it's mature of her, but I think a really good sort of writing decision that they made is that there's nothing sinister about this guy. I think he gave her the job because he's like, no, I love you and you're super talented and I want you around and we'll find something for you. You're great. Yeah. Like, it's not some guy who's then going to cheat on her in 3 weeks. No. So, which makes her decision tougher.
And I love Colin Quinn quoting "Lean In" at her.
It was a hot girl's picture on a book, so of course I read.
Yes, I'm familiar with the work of Sherman.
You're very, what did you say? Very strange,
but very wise.
Very wise, yeah. And then Jessa, like taking charge of that. Maybe she is going to be a therapist. I mean, I doubt it, but you know,
physician, heal thyself.
Yeah, but that said, that's a reasonable.
She took charge of that situation when nobody else would.
I mean, putting that great scene of putting.
Oh my God, her head in the bathtub.
Yeah.
Which thank God we didn't get a POV shot. That really, I was not ready for that. So
well, I
thank
thought
you.
we needed it in Leftovers. I don't think we needed it.
Not so much here.
Not so much here. But a really good scene by her. Took charge, told Laird to man up, and just was the grown up in that situation.
I'm gonna say best season so far.
Yeah, I say that season 1 was just because it was such a refresher, a breakthrough. But this is it's following the Homeland arc.
Yeah,
like-
because 2 was a little bit of a disappointment, but actually I thought 3 was really strong.
Yeah, no, Homelands 2 and 3 were far more disastrous than Girls 2 and 3. It's just that Girls 2 and 3, we started getting into a
bit of a
like a
rut.
pattern, and a little bit the same things were happening. And this was, we think we had, of the 10 episodes, I felt like 3 or 4 were standalone 25-minute movies.
Sure.
So I really
And they
good
were
stuff.
and they were willing to take chances like Iowa and and Mimi Rose and all these sort of new and different things that a lot of times if a show is going into those other directions, it's either a sign of desperation or their overreach. But this all felt very much part of the vision, and it all felt organic to the show.
I wonder if the hatred that so many, Bree and Anna, who we do the show with, they don't like Marnie, and I wonder if Ray's commitment to Marnie makes them feel better about Marnie. I don't know.
I think it does reflect well on her.
It does reflect. Before we go, we have to go. We would be foolish if we didn't mention Gabby Hoffman, who I think is so great. And,
She's great.
yeah, and she's come a long way since Field of Dreams.
Indeed.
Yeah. But that was that is quite a scene. That is quite a performance.
That's and that's this is me for this episode.
Yes, that's right.
Drink it in, America.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan. She's great.
All right, great stuff. Looking forward to the next season of Girls. Thanks, Alonso.
Thank you.